Hey, Jeff Adorno from Earthwalker. I'm out in my backyard in the river canyons of Northern California. I want to show you how to make a spring snare trap for fishing. It's a passive fishing system. So here are some of the things you need. You need a full tang knife to help you with the skills of building it. You're going to need a sprig that's got some memory in it. This happens to be some willow. You're going to need some cordage. This happens to be just a 100-pound test military cordage. Some fishing line, some basic fishing tack, a hook, maybe a little bit of weight, a bobber, and I happen to bring some worms from my compost pile. And the last piece takes some whittling. Now this is exaggerated scale, but it's great for visual. You need a stake that's going to be staked down, pounded into the ground, and it's got this 90-degree angle right here. You're going to whittle a very small piece, it's going to be like that kind of scale. Beaver chewed around here, so you can wrap some cordage. You wrap the cordage and the fishing line right here, and you've whittled this so they fit together. That's the snare trigger mechanism that when it's disturbed by a fish eating the bait, it disturbs this system, and all of this is weighted down, and hopefully you'll set the hook and you've just caught yourself some fish on your passive fishing system while you're going and doing something else of greater importance. So let me walk you through the steps. It's not too difficult. So I'm looking at this willow here, and I really like what's going on here. I'm visualizing a trigger mechanism that I'll whittle out of this segmented piece of willow. So I need to harvest this piece. Cool thing about willow is if you put some pressure on it, just putting some bend, and you lay in your knife, often it'll just cleave right off there. And again, I'm looking at that segmented piece right there. That's nice as a hook. All right, so this just took me a minute to whittle a nice little hook like this. This should suffice. This is a key little mechanism. So because this isn't really solid earth, it's all gravel, I'm gonna have to work on getting that more grounded. So I'm gonna dig that out and anchor in these big rocks that should really do the trick. Next, I hammer in the stake that has the 90-degree angle I whittled for the hook to set into to complete the trap. Make sure it's hammered in well. Really well. Next, I'm going to tie this to the end of the sprig and also to the end of this hook. The knot you use when you first tie your shoe, nothing fancy, just do multiple of those, should do the trick. If I need to bring in some tension, I can just wrap it around. Now, yeah, that's pretty well grounded. The way you make these two pieces is critical for the trap to work correctly. There's a fine balance between too sticky and too sensitive. If the trap is too sticky, it will not trigger. If it's too sensitive, it will not stay in place. That is some loaded energy right there. So now I just need to put the fishing line right here, bait the hook, and put it out there. So when the whole thing gets disturbed, there we go. One last little final touch you could do, put some kind of alarm system on this branch. Sometimes you could find a piece of trash like aluminum can, fill it up with some of these and it'll just make some real auditory signature. You'll hear that from a distance. You know, some of the other things that you can put on there, but that's one option. That way, you know to come run into your trap. Let me put the fishing line on now. Four or 5 yards. Next, put the hook, weight, bobber, and bait. Last but not least, get the worms. Can't be squirmy about the wormy. There you go. Got him. Now I gotta sling this out there and set it. Right. Set this guy up. Okay. Passion fishing sits on the set. We'll see what it produces. So I've let the fish trap set for roughly 2 hours while I was working on other projects. If I was spending the night here, I would just let this set all night and hopefully it would trigger. But I'm headed back to the homestead, so I'm gonna deconstruct this thing, come back, set it up, and I'm determined to get the fish because I know they're out there. I've been watching them rise. No such luck today. At least you know how to set it up though.